The cool group has money. Jen is poor. Her dad left when she was 7 years old. Her mom didn't go to college, so she can't get any good jobs. Jen wishes she could get a job, but she is only 13 years old. Jen also wants to be part of the cool group. The cool group buys expensive clothes, shoes, makeup, and jewelry. Jen always wears really simple things, like a t-shirt. One of the girls in the cool group is Jen's cousin. Her name is Dana. Dana convinced the cool group to invite Jen on a shopping trip. Jen is excited. She wants to convince them that she is cool enough to be a part of the group. When Jen sees them, she feels bad about herself. They are all dressing so much nicer than her. Jen tries to ignore this. She and the cool group go inside Rural Insiders, the most popular store for teenagers. Everything is so expensive though. All of the girls in the group except Jen stand in line to buy something. "Are you going to buy anything, Jen?" asks one of the girls. "Yeah," Jen says. She grabs a dress. It is $80. She buys the dress, but she plans to return it. Cash only. Eduardo went to a restaurant. It was a hole in the wall, meaning it wasn't a nice place. The restaurant was known for having delicious, authentic Japanese food. All the employees there were related to each other. Sometimes the service was slow, but that's because all the food is made fresh. The cooks make the food only when the customer orders it. Eduardo sat down. The table was dirty, but Eduardo didn't mind. The server asked him what he wanted to order. Eduardo ordered a salmon roll. It came out in 15 minutes. Eduardo took his first bite. It was delicious. When the check came out, Eduardo put his credit card down. The server told him the place was cash only. Eduardo asked if he could go to the nearest bank. The server said that he couldn't trust him. Eduardo swore he would come back. The server still didn't let him leave. Eduardo first called his sister to help him. His sister was at work, so she couldn't come until night time. Eduardo called his best friend Mason. Mason was in the area, so he said okay. Mason came down and paid for Eduardo's meal. A stay-at-home dad. Justin was a stay-at-home dad. That means he takes care of the kid and deals with the housework. His wife is the one who goes out and works. A couple years ago, Justin worked as a teacher. He loved his job. Then, his wife Terry got pregnant. At first, the couple both wanted to work and get a babysitter. Eventually, Justin thought it was best if he stayed at home and took care of their kid. He wasn't getting that much money as a teacher. Also, he wanted to have control over how his kid was going to be raised. Justin liked being a stay-at-home dad. He loved seeing his kid learn things from him. He wanted to make sure his kid grew up right. Justin made sure to read to his son, take him to open areas, and give him healthy food. The biggest problem with being a stay-at-home dad was the comments he got from his guy friends. They made fun of him for doing housework. At first, the comments bothered him, but they're not a big deal anymore. Justin does miss teaching though. He is waiting for the day he can teach at school again. He is planning to go back to the job after his kid turns 13 or so. He thinks that is a good time for his son to do his own thing. Life in fear. The terrorist attacks have scared a lot of people from studying abroad. Many students go to big cities to take pictures, shop, and explore. Terrorists attack these big cities though, because they know that there will be a lot of people. The truth is, we should not stop people from studying abroad. These terrorist attacks can happen anytime. We can't live life in fear. We must do the things we love. People are also scared to travel in general, because of plane accidents. Terrorists often bring explosives on planes. Some people are also scared of dying on a plane. All the passengers in Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 are missing. We still don't know what happened to them. Not too long after, all the passengers in Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 died. It was a very tragic event. It is scary that our lives can end so quickly and suddenly. We need to live life to the fullest. We need to love the people around us and be thankful for every day that we live. There are always news stories about people dying before they should. It's not the best thing to hear about, but it makes us more aware of our own lives. Started from the bottom. Right now, Eileen is a famous fashion designer. She started from the bottom though. She was raised by a single mother with 5 other siblings. There was barely enough to eat. In fact, there were a lot of days when she just ate an apple and a slice of bread. Eileen also lived in a bad neighborhood, where hearing gunshots was normal. Eileen didn't do well in school either. She had a hard time focusing, and often fell asleep while her teachers were talking. It was hard to think about George Washington or the scientific theory when you had personal problems. Because she didn't do well in school and she needed money, Eileen didn't go to college. She immediately worked at a clothing store as a cashier. Eileen would sketch designs during her break time. One lucky day, the owner at the time saw her designs and was impressed. He offered Eileen a position as a designer. Eileen worked for her boss for 5 years before starting her own company called Bottomless. There are now Bottomless stores in over 100 countries. Eileen has been on many talk shows speaking about her rise to success,